Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the 5 best add-ons for gold making voted just by you guys. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. So obviously yesterday I asked everyone on my Discord and on YouTube in the community posts on what gold making add-ons that you would recommend to others and or prefer and find very helpful. Now, that being the case, let's get into number 1. For number 1, we have Farm HUD. Now, personally, I've never actually used Farm HUD, but what it actually does is it turns your minimap into a HUD for farming ore and herbs. And what they mean by this is, let's pull up a couple of images. Basically, I don't really know an awful lot about Farm HUD. I know that you guys have recommended it, and what it actually does is basically just turns your minimap into it still shows the nodes, but it also attaches on the routes in order to actually follow much easier in order for your farming and gathering cycles, so to speak. So when you're doing like a loop-de-loop in Silithus, is a much more easier way in order to follow the route as opposed to not using the HUD, so to speak. So it's a much more effective way in order to use gathering, and I'm going to be testing it out myself as you guys have pretty much recommended it quite a lot, and hence why it is at number 1 on this list. Well, coming in at number 2 is WeCores. Now, WeCores is very well known, and a lot of you guys know exactly what WeCores does. And a brief summarization off of the curseforge.com is WeCores is a powerful and flexible framework that allows the display of highly customizable graphics in the game and user interface to indicate buffs, debuffs, and other relevant information. So when it comes to gold making, you can then make a weak aura around your target for gold making and how far you are away from all that. So you can basically customize a load of different types of stuff, creating auras, so to speak. And this is a very lightweight framework in order to get a head start in order to setting goal targets, or even creating different types of like to-do lists and all that stuff like you have to get done on like the daily and all that stuff. So it's got a lot of flexibility when it comes to setting up yourself. So if you're going for daily tasks like the living steel transmutes or going in for the Jard's peculiar energy source, you can set up a weak auras for that, which will track your different types of things that you're doing, and then you can make sure that you are doing it on the daily without fail. It's just another way of reinforcing your gold making and making it that much more effective. Now, coming in at number 3 is something I know very well, and that is Roots. Now, Roots is a powerful little add-on, so to speak. It's very lightweight, and actually I'm going to demonstrate it right now. Basically, all you have to do is /roots and it will pull up the UI. Pretty much all you have to do is, if you want to add a waypoint, so we could say, we're going to say at the abyssal depths, and we're going to name the route. And what you can actually do is we're going to say, I don't know, obsidian ore. Now, for obsidian ore, we're going to create a bar, and inside our routes tab, which is here, we can also just go to the abyssal depths and go to obsidian ore, and we can then create some of the nodes by customizing our line settings, so our colors of our lines. We can edit the route manually, which I prefer to do, which it brings up the route on your map, and then you are able to drag and drop using these little pillars to make up a farming route in order to pretty much do a farm. Now, obviously, this is just an example, so you could get it to go around the entire area by just using your click functions and grabbing all of the different parts to make up the farm. Now, I know this add-on quite well, and it's actually a very, very handy add-on to actually use. We actually do use this in the Worth It add-on, and it has been quite beneficial for most gold farmers going in general throughout the years. I used to use this all the time until I pretty much learned all of my routes off by heart. So I rarely use it that much anymore. But when it comes to someone like a newbie in gold making, they can then look up the route and then create a route that comes on their map, so to speak. Or they could always import someone else's piece of LUA file and then get their routes as well, which is just helpful in general, just having loads of different types of farming locations in order to farm up certain things. And it also shows on your mini-map, so you can see if you're following the correct route, so to speak. The only thing is it does have a couple of buggy little things to go along with that, but aside from that, it's just a very, very handy gold making utility just in general. And I pretty much think that all gathering gold makers should have this add-on just for simplicity's sake, to make sure that they're doing the best possible route going. So aside from all of that, let's get into number 4. Now coming in at number 4 is no surprise, and that is GatherMate 2, or well, GatherMate 2 Data as well. There's 2 add-ons to this, which actually shows you all of the nodes in the actual game. And this is very, very helpful when you're actually doing farming, and also paired with routes is a lot easier. Now you could also combine this with the routes add-on and see all of the nodes that are in the game, and then create a route following around them, so you know that you're actually doing a correct route, so to speak. With GatherMate 2, you are also able to find different types of things, so the nodes for herbs, the herbs for fishing, the GatherMate data for mining. You can also find the treasure chest nodes and an array of different types of things in order to make sure that you're doing the most effective farm going and knowing where all of these nodes are spawning. Because you don't want to be going off to some random location and not knowing where you're actually going to find one of these nodes. You might as well plan your route around a set of nodes that are actually there in the game, and this add-on does it really well. Usually this add-on has been the bread and butter for most gold farmers and gold makers alike, and it is pretty much a staple for getting into gold farming. So this one is basically a top recommended. Now coming in at number 5 is mainly for all the noobs that don't know about gold farming, and they've come to find out what is the best add-on for gold making, so to speak, and that is Trade Skill Master. Obviously it's going to hit top of the list because that's basically what you guys said. Is Trade Skill Master is one of the best add-ons for gold making in general, due to its suite in order to monitor how much gold you're making, plus how much you're investing and how much profit you're getting back. Alongside that, you can create custom groups in order to filter and sell things at different margins or different prices. And also, along with that, with the ease of use of using your mailbox and just in general having a clean utility in order to get started on posting on the auction house. So if you're trying to post something to the auction house, you can make it so much easier than doing it manually with Trade Skill Master. Now, obviously Trade Skill Master is a top pick for me, and I would say it is the add-on that you have to have if you are a gold maker. You just have to have that add-on. Aside from that, that paired with one of the farming add-ons would be one of the most best ways in order to do this. It's almost, I could probably rant and rave around about Trade Skill Master every single day, and we know for a fact that a lot of us watching right now, Trade Skill Master is one of the best add-ons for gold making. Now, aside from all of that, that is the top 5 best add-ons that you guys have voted for or stated. And that being the case, on the screen right now is a list of all of the other ones that didn't make into the top 5. You may want to take a look at these ones, and all of the add-ons that I have showcased in this video is linked in my description. Of course, if you can tell, Worth It actually made number 2 on the list, but I removed it because I bang about Worth It all the time, and I wanted to put a non-biased spin on all of this thing. So for obvious reasons, I removed Worth It from this video. Now, obviously, as a bonus add-on, because shameless promotion, Worth It is by far an amazing add-on, and in my books is the best, because it calculates how much the gold per hour of a farm is on your server, specifically based upon averages of what you get on average for a particular farm. Now, that is my shameless self-promotion, but aside from all of that, there are a load of add-ons that you guys have actually specified, and then I've marked all of the different ones that all the ones that I didn't know about, and I'm going to give them a go now, because if they're working for you, they're most likely going to work for me. So that was a real big extra uptick going forward. Aside from that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. Have an awesome day, guys, and I shall see you soon.